S1. So y'all see we use the F1, F2, F3, F4 all the time. That stands for filial generation. Okay, so you and your wife or your husband or your partner, if y'all have kids, they're F1s. If it's weird because it gets to be like we're actually doing like incest stuff. If they were to breed and have a kid, that would be an F2, and so on and so forth. An S1 refers to a self plant. A self plant means it has sex with itself and breeds with itself. So, one of the easiest explanations that I can get is what it does is it gives you access to all of the genetic code and all the genetic material that's contained within that plant all the way back. Okay? And so you'll have a lot of phenovariants, all right? But you're also going to have, with this one, because I've put a whole lot of work into it, and we've gotten it to a point where it's a very, very stable strain. It's super, super stable, and the traits that I've originally bred it for are now stabilized, and we're working on getting it totally homogeneous. Okay? Now, during that process, what it's going to be is, you're taking two. So, you have the original cross. Okay? You have that F1 generation, and you grow those out, and what you're doing when we're breeding is we're looking for the plants that display the similar traits. So you want ones that look the same, you want ones that smell the same, you want ones that act the same. Because when you do that, and without getting into a super crazy heavy genetics conversation, that you're going to start to see what traits are dominant and what traits are recessive. Okay, meaning which ones are going to pop up more and which ones are going to pop up less. Short answer. Okay, with a self plant, the pollen so in a reversal situation, you take a female plant, okay, and you do some stuff, secret sauce stuff is what I do, and you get it to create male sex parts and release pollen. When it pollinates itself, it will produce seeds, and so you'll have a plant that was pollinated itself, that impregnated itself. And so they're generally going to be good for, just getting a real good variety of, what's contained in that plant. And so I absolutely love self plants because I've only released, I think, one other one. But just because I generally, especially with autos, one of the things, because everything comes from seed, everybody wants stable genetics. If you're going to do it once, it'll look the same 100 times over. And so this is going to give you a little bit more phenotype expression, okay? And then your F4s or F5s, okay? Compared to a normal F1, to a normal F1, that each can still be a little different. Yeah, but it depends, okay? So everybody has gotten this misinformation that an F1 means it's unstable. That's not true, okay? It depends on what traits are you looking for? Are they dominant or recessive? And if you take two, let's say two F4 that have the dominant, dominant purple gene with the dominant purple allele. All right, you've got two of those. When you put those together, that F1 is going to come out purple. There's going to be 80% of it or better, or 90% of it or better that's going to come out purple. All right, and so it depends. All right, and having an understanding of genetics and breeding and what it takes to actually get and do phenotype testing and dominant and recessive gene testing, which is growing out some and then growing out another generation and seeing which ones there's a formula for it. Okay? Those Jesus plants, that's pretty funny. And so it depends. There are a lot of the F1s that I put out are pretty stable just because I have done the testing and see what the dominant. I try to match them up as best that I can, and sometimes I give a specific, phenovariants, like here with this S1. Okay. So yeah, that's Fabian. No, can't join. Just watch. No, so Donnie Austin, there's a difference between breeding plants and breeding animals. That we have a lot more complex genetic code, and so when you start doing brother-sister stuff, you get into complex chromosomal challenges, and